Welcome, everyone. Let's Talk News. I'm Leticia Remauro, and I'm your host. And we have another evening of incredible news to discuss together tonight. So, we're going to be talking about the shutdown of the government, the Schumer shutdown of the government. It's the Schumer shutdown. Uh, Shutdown, but it's really the Schumer shutdown because normally Chuck Schumer would have not shut the government down, especially because it makes him look like a fool. Because in the past, he carried on about Trump shutting down the government or anybody else, and now suddenly he's voting to shut it down, and we're going to tell you why. And then after that, we're going to talk about Ian Roberts, the Des Moines uh, superintendent of schools, who who was arrested by ICE and is in had a deportation order in 2024 and had a criminal background, and just how the hell did all this happen? So we're going to go behind both of those. Hello, Miss Colleen. Good to have you. Great to see you. Hello, Mama. Where is it coming up? Yes, we're gonna kick some ass. He's afraid of the left and him losing his job. Yeah, absolutely he is. Hello, Angela Rebecca. How are you? Good to have you here. The thing about Schumer is that there was a time. I don't know if you all remember, but that he was a blue dog Democrat. As a matter of fact, he was at Nicole Maliotakis' swearing in, most of the Republican swearing in. He had a great relationship with the conservatives. It was, he was just a blue dog Democrat, and we could all depend on him. Somewhere along the way, he has lost his way. Oh, I'm having a hard time again tonight. Here we go. And I think I know why. I think that it is because of my memory, and I should have cleared it out before we got on air. Yeah, that guy had a loaded gun and $3,000 of cash in his car. Yeah, and and we're going to talk about that a little bit. Well, we could take this a little out of order, since you brought him up. Hello, Andrew Dorman. Good to have you with us tonight. They are all so self-centered. They really are. All right, so I'm confusing everything. So let's decide. Shall we talk about Ian Roberts? Because interesting, there I started the conversation off with a link, and you can all look at that link. It's a fact check from a local Des Moines paper, and I think that it would be very interesting for you to read through it, because they're trying very, very hard to slant things away from Roberts doing anything wrong. No 1-9 background check. Well, they did supposedly do a background check. And the one who did it was a third party. It was Baker Eubanks conducted the background check. Baker Eubanks. Everybody remember that? Because if you ever want to do a background check, I would strongly suggest that that might not be the group that you want, because somehow all of this escaped them. Um, Oh, hello, Gloria. Good to see you. They call it radical empathy for him. Yes, radical empathy. Well, supposedly this guy changed the whole way the school system worked, and he was fantastic, and he was wonderful. And that may all be so. I mean, who knows? Just because you're a criminal doesn't mean that you're not smart. I mean, sometimes you have to be really smart to be a criminal, right? Doesn't mean that you don't have charisma. As a matter of fact, a lot of criminals have buku charisma. That's how they get away with things. So he seemed to be very, very smart and have a lot of charisma. The question is what did he want to do with our kids, and why? Why did he want to do this? I hate to tell you this, but I don't know if you know, he had a criminal record, and the board knew about it before they hired him. Let's just see. It says that Dr. Roberts had a criminal record when he was hired as evidence for his claim that no fact check was done. Oh, I'm sorry. When he was hired. But as the Associated Press reported, the district knew that in 2022, he had pleaded guilty to a minor infraction for unlawfully possessing a loaded firearm in a vehicle. So this is 2022, okay, before he got hired. He had a loaded firearm in his vehicle, and he explained it as that he had gone hunting and he put the loaded gun in the loaded rifle in his vehicle. He forgot it was loaded. Isn't that interesting? So we had two cases where he had a loaded gun. One after he went hunting, and one while he was on the property as the superintendent. He probably put the gun on the table with the $3,000 cash on the table and said, "Give me the job. We can do this." Well, the thing is DEI hire. I don't know. While the house is shut down, they can clean house. Yeah, they should clean house. So here's the thing. Jackie Norris is the chairman of the school board. And oh, wait. It's a 7-minute from the camera, but okay, I just don't have enough hands, and I wish I had an engineer or somebody to work with. And it's made up of Jackie Norris as the chair, Skylar Mayberry Mays is the vice chair, Maria Alonso, Anna Campo, Patrick Dix, Jenna Knox, Kimberly Matarano. So 6 girls, 1 boy. White. I think 1 Mexican or 1 Hispanic, right? Mayberry Mays, I think. No, Alonso is Hispanic. And what have I been saying about white liberal women this whole time? They are America. Just like Eve and the apple, the white liberal women are destroying America. And why do I say liberal? Well, it turns out that Jackie Norris actually worked with Michelle Obama. Interesting, huh? So we've got a lot of connection things going on here. And anyway, I want to play the clip. One thing I didn't tell you, Jackie Norris is running for the United States Senate. Oh, yes, you heard that right. She's running for the United States Senate. Yet she knowingly hired a man who admitted to having a criminal record for carrying a loaded gun in his trunk. Now, isn't one of the platform issues for the Democrats to take away all the guns? Here, listen, 2 different clips. One about her running, one about this situation.
Joined with Chair of the Des Moines School Board, Jackie Norris, just announcing your run for United States Senate, seeking that Democratic primary nomination coming up in June. It's been speculated that Senator Ernst wasn't running for her 3rd term. She officially is it now, releasing a video on her social medias today. I guess, what was your reaction when you had seen that announcement?
I think, there's a lot of people in Iowa who are unhappy. And they're unhappy with a choice that she made to vote for a bill that a lot of people have talked about that is going to cut Medicaid. It's going to cut solar and energy tax credits. It's going to balloon and explode our deficit. And we didn't need to do that just to give some money to people who maybe didn't need it at the wealthy.
They found the weapons inside of a district vehicle. Can you talk to me if that is grounds for termination and why he may have had that vehicle that day?
Yeah, we were completely shocked about the guns. And our board policy states that guns are not allowed on district property at district sanctioned events. And so we were as shocked as everybody else was to learn of that.
But is that grounds for termination if you find an employee with a weapon in a district vehicle? Is that itself grounds for termination?
Yes.
So, interesting, right? Grounds for termination. I don't know. That they knowingly hired him with a criminal record for carrying a rifle in his trunk. And then when ICE picked him up, he had a handgun, loaded handgun in his trunk, and $3,000 in cash. And he's from Guyana, and if I'm not mistaken, Barack Obama's dad had friends in the high level of government in Guyana. Now, what was he doing here? What was the reason for him lying on so many things? And in this, he's been here for a long time. He's been working in Iowa for many, many years illegally. Does it have anything to do with the caucuses, with the elections? I mean, there's more questions than answers here, but they are questions that we need to get to the bottom to. How did these illegals get paid with benefits, etc.? I don't get it. Well, they get Social Security numbers. Does he pay taxes? How does this work? Well, they get Social Security numbers, and I'm not quite sure exactly how he managed to get the Social Security number, because he was, he had an open case for all this time, and it was only decided in 2023 under Biden that he should be deported permanently. I guess there was a lot of appeals and things like that. But the Social Security number, I mean, we showed the clip the other day. There are millions and millions of people in America that have a Social Security number, including right now, who should not have a Social Security number. And that's thanks to the Democrats, thanks to Biden. I think possibly to Obama as well. I haven't gone back that far. I'll be totally honest with you that I haven't looked at the numbers of people who have an illegal Social Security number or an asylum claim under Obama. I do remember, and I think you do too, that Obama was deporting people. He was trying to move people out. Clinton was deporting people. Clinton deported more people. Clinton and Obama deported more people than Trump during their administrations. So the question is were these special people with special Social Security numbers? We're also finding the driver's license. I mean, license. How do you get a driver's license without having a birth certificate? Or other questions that need to be asked. Were they forged? Could be. I mean, look, it's not hard in this day and age to forge documents. And does anybody really take a look at that? I remember back in the day that Senator Savino and I had an argument about registration, and I said to her, the Board of Elections does not look up whether or not you're a citizen. They, you give them the last four numbers of your Social Security card. The Board of Elections isn't plugged into the Social Security Administration, and even if they were, they don't have your full numbers, so they're not looking anybody up. I'm still confused. I've done hundreds of employee eligibility verification forms, and you have to show proof of citizenship and a lot of other things. So I just don't know how he got past that. Maybe a really messed up background check fine. Yeah. Or maybe there was none, or maybe they were in cahoots. I mean, Baker Urbanks, you want to know how he got through the background check? You're going to have to ask them. What do they use? They all could be forged. They can be forged. The thing is that there's a lot of honor system that goes on here in America. A lot. paying your taxes, all of that. I mean, how did the mafia not pay taxes all that time? They had a birth certificate and that's it, not a social security number. We only started issuing social security numbers now at birth, but before then, people didn't have a social security number unless they applied for one. So people were working off the books. People were untraceable back in the day. Now everybody gets a number, but everybody gets a number. And the question is, what was forged? What was it? I mean, how really? And who's going to check it? Even when you do a background check, unless you have authorization, right? Remember, the Dems were going crazy about Elon Musk having access to the Social Security Administration's database, right? Because you're not authorized to go in and get people's Social Security information. So are you telling me that Baker Eubanks has authorization to go check people's Social Security number? I don't think so. People, I think that the truth is that we are not as secure as we think we are. And now with Obama and Biden, especially Biden, screwing with our immigration system, I don't think we're secure at all. I don't. And identity theft now is a big business now, protecting identity theft, protecting you from that they can really do that. The only thing that they can do is give you the ability to fight it when it happens and help you fight it when it happens. We're all exposed. We wonder if the hue and cry about Elon having access to our information was not just a setup for what they know is coming down the pike, which ultimately is this whole Social Security situation is going to explode. I know someone who had a blank Social Security card. I know someone who had two. So, we're in good shape. So we're really not in good shape. And now we have to be suspicious of anybody coming from other countries. And that is heartbreaking to me, right? Because the whole thing was America. We were trying to stop that. We were trying to stop being biased. We were trying to stop being concerned about people who were different. And we were well on our way to doing that. But now, because the elitists have gotten in there and just totally turned our system on its ear, we have to be suspicious now of people who sound different or look different than us, because we don't know how they came in and whether they came in because they wanted a better life or whether they came in to do us harm. And that is the real sin of it. And the Democrats undermined themselves, much like the man in Dallas who shut up the ICE facility because he didn't want them deporting people, and he winds up killing 2 detainees now. We are at risk with tech and cyber attack. Yeah, no one is safe. No guardrails with AI not monitored. Yeah, we have the perfect storm here, right? We have AI, and we have millions of people who came into this country from all over the world, and we don't know who they are because nobody kept track. That's a recipe for a disaster. Because how do you protect the citizenry without being biased? You have to profile in order to protect the citizenry, because it's not just one person, it's millions of people. And that's a problem. And that's a real problem. All right. I'm going to leave that issue there unless you all have some more to say, because we're already running late and we have to talk about Chucky and why the Schumer shutdown really occurred. As I said at the top of the show, he was always a blue dog Democrat. But all of a sudden, listen.
Pretty evident the divide is growing between some Democrats on Capitol Hill. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez from New York, keep that in mind, has been on the airwaves today making it very, very clear she's not on board with Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, also of New York, and other Democrats who just recently have put the procedural wheels in motion to pass the Republican spending bill and avert a government shutdown. Let's listen.
I cannot urge enough how bad of an idea it is to empower and enable Donald Trump and Elon Musk in this moment. It is dangerous and it is reckless.
I want to bring in our political reporter panel, Khadija Goba and Mariana Sotomayor. Khadija is political reporter at Semaphore, Mariana, congressional reporter for The Washington Post. So, Khadija, you were with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez today. She was pretty vocal. Is she indicative of the mindset of most House Democrats?
I would say most Democrats are very upset of how this shaped up, largely because many of them voted against this funding bill. So their reaction is, why do that? And then only for the Senate to turn around and support the bill.
And they had some at least nominal expectation that Senate Democrats would, for a period of time at least, hold the line.
Some sort of pushback. They just wanted Democrats in the Senate to fight just the slightest, just for all. I mean, she laid it. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez laid it out properly yesterday. She said there are a lot of vulnerable Democrats who put their district or put their name on the line all the time and vote in unison with Democrats. Why not give them some kind of respect and, put up a sort of a fight?
So, Mariana, I want to play this soundbite. We started the show off with it. It's worth playing again because it's indicative of something going on. A question put to Hakeem Jeffries, the House Democratic leader.
Is it time for new leadership in the Senate?
Next question.
So that was when the first CR passed, right? So Chuck and Democrats voted for the first CR because, 13 CRs, continuing resolutions, have been passed since the Biden administration. And this is just another Biden budget. That's why Rand Paul didn't vote for it, because it's a continuation of the Biden budget. It's not a Trump budget. It's the continuation of the, and so why all of a sudden the Democrats don't want the budget passed or the CR passed is because exactly what that young woman said. Put up a little fight, put up some fight. Don't just roll over to the Republicans, because all they know is politics and the perception of power, right? And how could they keep hammering that Trump is a bad guy if they don't find reasons for Trump to be a bad guy, especially as he's solving wars and bringing peace around the world, especially as the stock market is, up high and people are making money, and money is coming in from tariffs and other ways, especially as the price of gas is down, which is driving the price of everything else down. So what are they going to do? They have to give him a reason to have a problem. So the reason to have a problem in their mind is medical care for who they say are Americans. No, it's not Americans. What the Republicans did was they took out medical care from Medicaid, from the budget for anybody that's an illegal migrant. And we go back to how do they get funding? Because Obama was issuing them Social Security cards. The bill was not passed because the insurance companies at the hospitals will not make any money. They started this with COVID regulations, with the medical insurance companies getting paid, and the hospitals get paid, and the hospitals are getting profit by it all. It's true. Our money, this is just another way for your tax dollars to, be siphoned away from all of us. And I'm wondering, since the government is closed, does that mean we get a refund? Because every day we don't get services, we should get a refund. Or, it's coming to December and soon April. Maybe, just maybe, we should not pay our taxes. Why do Dems let her open her mouth? Because she harms their party. Let her keep opening her mouth. I encourage it. All about paying for illegals. The house closed and the stocks went sky high. Yeah, well, it's very, very interesting how the panic that the Democrats are trying to cause amongst regular American citizens is not reaching the elites. It's not reaching the people with money. It's not reaching the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ. How come? What the hell? What's going on? Well, I want to show you what's going on. I'm going to show you. I hope you can read it. It's the Democrat Socialists of America. And this is what they did with Chuck Schumer over organizing over the NLRB, which is it is how you negotiate contracts for unions. So they are really pissed off at him. He says party's handling of the NLRB amounts to malpractice. Democrat Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who once stated, "For every blue-collar Democrat we lose in Western Pennsylvania, we will pick up 2 moderate Republicans in the suburbs of Philadelphia," had to be pressured to vote for the NLRB. So the Democrat Chuck Schumer. What does that mean? They have no problem with Hakeem Jeffries. And remember, in Congress, is all you have to have is a majority. 1 vote and you're in. But in Senate, you have to have 60 votes to pass the spending package. So why are they so pissed at Chuck Schumer? Well, first of all, he's ancient, and he was a moderate Democrat, and he plays footsies with the Republicans, and their darling is AOC. And they have been running around, and if you go to their website, and you should, they're out there electing people, especially in Georgia. They're really focusing on Georgia because we have they got the 2 Democrats in through COVID. So I am sure that the Democrat Socialists of America had a lot to do with the shenanigans that happened around 2020 election. And they're keep it on going. And you can go on their Twitter, or I don't think they have a Facebook, but I do think that they might have a Facebook because they organize all the old people. But anyway, look for them and you will see that they are organizing a ton of people. And all of a sudden, socialism is not a dirty word anymore in America. There was a recent poll that showed that people are willing to try socialism. Think about that. Our founding fathers must be rolling in their graves. They better watch out. Trump will defund the thing they want. And there's no turning back. Well, the truth is this, is that, I don't mind the government being shut down. I don't want any people to go without a paycheck, except for maybe Congress. The president already donates his paycheck. And I think he should say that he doesn't care if the government shut down because, he doesn't take a paycheck. I already saw that there were Congress members that are saying, oh, they have to take their paycheck because they have a family to feed. Well, so do all the other people that are, at your mercy because you decided you wanted to play politics and because Chuck Schumer is afraid of the Democrat Socialists of America. And he should be, because they have a lot of clout, and they have a lot of clout in New York. So, but the senators who voted no for the continuing resolution, not one of them should be paid. Not one of them. They have slush funds. They can wait. You're right. You're right. Well, they're not supposed to be using their slush funds for, my hair is ridiculous today, for their day-to-day expenses, but they all do, and we know that they do. All right, so the truth behind the government shutdown has nothing to do really with Medicaid. Well, it does have something to do with them wanting Medicaid for the illegal migrants that they helped to bring into the country, who they are depending on to then vote socialist or Democrat for the rest of their lives so that they can take over the country. But it really has to do with Chuck Schumer wanting to keep his seat away from AOC. On that note, Good night, everybody. Love talking with you. We'll talk again tomorrow.